Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your weekly connection for staying ahead in semiconductors. This week, it's all about the crucial updates you need, straight from the analysis at AnySilicon.com. We're going to unpack some pretty significant market shifts, look at key partnerships, and also touch on, quality and security innovations, really the stuff shaping things right now.
Absolutely. It's a very dynamic time. We'll explore how companies are, well, not just reacting, but really trying to shape their own paths, pushing forward with IP, and also focusing hard on manufacturing resilience.
Okay, let's kick things off with the big picture, the market overview. So the Semiconductor Industry Association, SIA, their latest numbers show global sales hit $179.7 billion in Q2 2025. That's a solid jump, 7.8% up from Q1. And June sales, up nearly 20% year over year.
Yeah, 19.6%. That's quite strong.
And regionally, Asia-Pacific saw a huge growth, right? Over 34%.
34.2%, yeah. And the Americas also climbed significantly, 24.1%. It shows, a broad recovery, but maybe concentrated.
So within that recovery, how are the foundries doing? Let's look at global foundries.
Right, GF. Their Q2 revenue came in at $1.688 billion. What's interesting there is their strategy. Consumer electronics are still a bit sluggish, so they're really pivoting, focusing more on specialized areas, think automotive, industrial AI, comms, infrastructure.
Makes sense. Less volatile markets, perhaps.
Exactly. And their investment plan backs this up. $16 billion. That includes acquiring MIPs, partnering with Continental. It's a long-term play for stability and, frankly, higher margins.
And it's not just GF making these kinds of moves, is it? We're seeing others pivot, too.
Definitely. Look at XFAB. Their Q2 was $215.3 million, up 5% year on year. They're zeroing in on high voltage CMOS, silicon carbide Sixorion, for power efficiency and MEMS sensors.
Right. Those MEMS are critical for cars and industrial stuff.
Precisely. And Tower Semiconductor. Also strong Q2 growth. $372 million, up 6%. They're riding the wave in RF infrastructure, analog chips. They're aiming for a record year.
So specialization seems to be the name of the game.
It really does, which leads us nicely into partnerships and IP.
Okay. Strategic collaborations.
Yeah.
Like Science Semiconductors working with GF.
Yeah, that's a good example. Scient will resell GF's manufacturing services. The idea is to help smaller, fabless companies, maybe in automotive or healthcare, get access to GF's tech faster, cut through some red tape.
Streamlining innovation, basically.
Yeah.
Interesting. But partnerships can be complex, especially geopolitically. What about GF's China for China strategy?
Yes. That's definitely getting more intense. They're even partnering with a local Chinese foundry for automotive CMOS.
Really? How do they manage the IP risks there?
Very carefully. They're securing orders, which they need, but they're being extremely rigid about protecting their intellectual property and maintaining quality control. It's a real balancing act.
Delicate, for sure. Okay, let's shift to IP advancements. Erasan chip systems.
Big news there. They've launched the industry's first MIPI sub-UI3S manager IP and the peripheral IP core, too.
SWI3S. What does that mean for you, the engineer listening?
It's a new interface standard. Basically, it simplifies how chips talk to each other, especially for low-latency things like advanced microphones. It means simpler PCB layouts, less power consumption. Pretty significant for next-gen devices.
Got it. And more IP, Codasip, and Silicon Creations.
Right. Codasip picked Silicon Creations PLL, their low-area integer phase-locked loop, for a test chip.
Okay.
This is for their RISC-V automotive safety cores. That PLL provides the super stable clocking needed for safety-critical stuff. It shows how specialized IP enables these very precise, very reliable designs.
And Silvaco bought Mixel Group.
Yeah, boosting their mixed-signal IP game. That impacts mobile, auto, VR, AR, IoT, you name it. Broadens their toolkit significantly.
Okay, so lots happening in partnerships and IP. Let's pivot now. Quality, security, manufacturing, the operational nuts and bolts.
Crucial stuff.
AnySilicon passed their first-year ISO audits. ISO 9001 for quality and 27001 for information security.
And with no non-conformances, which is impressive.
Exactly. It validates their systems, which builds trust. You need that in this industry.
Absolutely. And trust brings us to a more difficult topic. That alleged TSMC trade secret leak, the 2-nanometer process.
Right, that was serious. Employees fired, arrests made under Taiwan's tougher security laws.
It really highlights the growing risks of industrial espionage. For everyone working in this field, it's a stark reminder. IP protection is not just a legal thing, it's fundamental. Even the most advanced processes are targets.
A sobering thought. And speaking of advanced processes, what about Intel's 18A? The challenges there seem quite real.
They are. Reports suggest yields are still, well, pretty low, around 10%.
10%? Wow, that's nowhere near profitable levels, is it?
Not even close. You typically need 50%, maybe even up to 80% for high-volume manufacturing to make economic sense. This definitely casts some doubt on hitting that 2025 target for Panther Lake production at scale.
Especially when you look at TSMC and Samsung pushing ahead on their nodes, it really shakes up the competitive landscape.
It certainly does. It's a critical point to watch.
So wrapping things up, from the big market trends right down to the nitty-gritty of IP protection, yield challenges, security risks, it's a complex picture.
Incredibly complex, and it leads to a fundamental question, really. As the industry pushes for aggressive expansion, how do we balance that drive with the absolute necessity of safeguarding IP and ensuring manufacturing integrity? What does this tension mean for future supply chain resilience? And maybe more personally for you listening, where should you focus your efforts and attention given these dynamics?
Some important things to think about. Keep exploring, keep applying these insights. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive from AnySilicon.com.